accused of attacking a man as he was returning to his Westchester home. Fox 5's Duarte Geraldino has details on what police say might have been the motive for the ambush.
Detectives here in New Rochelle are trying to determine how the victim got on the radar of these gunmen, how long they had been tracking him, and whether this was a planned attack or just a crime of opportunity. A woman who lives near the invaded home says she woke up to chaos outside of her house on Kewanee Road early Saturday morning.
Loud screech. You heard, a little like bustling, I guess, and then you heard the fire department came out. It was crazy. And then I see people kind of walking around. That's when I knew something definitely was up. I went to make sure my doors were locked.
Police say the home invasion happened around 1:25 a.m. New Rochelle police say that victim was a 25-year-old man. As soon as he got home, the suspects got him. They pistol whipped him, according to police, and then literally took $75,000 worth of jewelry off of his body. After the robbery, officers canvassed the area, including Sheldrake Drive, searching for Ring doorbell footage that might show the suspects. Somebody was robbed of $75,000 worth of jewelry that he had on his person.
Oh my gosh. And so somebody knew that he had that.
Police believe this was a targeted robbery, not a random crime, but it's still putting neighbors on edge in this quiet, upscale part of New Rochelle.
I'm actually going to call my company. We're going to get another camera installed right here and another few motion sensors on our windows just to be extra safe.
The victim was treated for non-life-threatening injuries. The suspects, they're still on the run. In New Rochelle, Duarte Geraldino, Fox 5 News.
We are learning tonight that a firefighter was seriously hurt and 3 other people were injured as this fast-moving fire tore through an apartment building in Brooklyn earlier today. Citizen App took this video of huge flames and thick black smoke shooting out of the windows. Officials say the blaze broke out on the top floor of a 4-story building on Cropsey Avenue in Bath Beach. The cause of that fire is now under investigation. The man accused of plowing his BMW into 2 pedestrians in a Brooklyn crosswalk, killing both of them, facing a judge today who denied his request to be released. Fox 5's Richard Jacobus has the details on what came out at court.
That shocking surveillance video shows the moment Juventino Anastasio Florentino's black BMW plows into 2 men on their way to a mobile food pantry in Sunset Park just before sunrise on Friday morning. We are pausing the video moments before impact. 59-year-old Fakui Lin and 80-year-old Keksoon Chen, both of Brooklyn, were crossing 3rd Avenue and 52nd Street underneath the Gowanus Expressway before they were struck. Florentino, seen here at his perp walk yesterday, has been charged with 2 counts of manslaughter, criminally negligent homicide, and reckless driving. An official indictment from the Brooklyn District Attorney is expected next week. In court today, the assistant DA claimed that Florentino blew a .06 in a breathalyzer test administered by cops at his Staten Island home hours after that crash. Investigators found his mangled-up Beamer in his driveway late Friday morning. The assistant DA also revealed that Florentino claimed it was all his fault at the time of his arrest, but his attorney says his client is not guilty, has no prior arrests, has held a full-time job at a Staten Island restaurant for 2 years, and has been in the U.S. for 7. But despite all of that, the judge today says Florentino is a flight risk and needs to post bail if he wants to fight the impending charges outside of his prison cell. But his attorney says the 23-year-old does not have the means to do so. The assistant district attorney reiterating today that Florentino blew through that red light and threw pieces of his car left at the scene and license plate readers, they were able to track the vehicle down and make that arrest. No additional charges were revealed in court today, and Florentino's attorney believes that his client will not face any drunk driving charges, at least for now. He's due back in court on Thursday. We're at Kings County Criminal Court in downtown Brooklyn. Richard Jacobus, Fox 5 News.
Yeah, and this wasn't how that ride was supposed to go. A yellow cab apparently sent crashing into the side of scaffolding. This is at East 56th Street and Lexington Avenue. The passenger in the cab tells Fox 5 the taxi was hit by another driver, causing it to veer into the sidewalk structure. He spoke with us, saying, understandably, that he is shaken up by the crash.
I was actually, I didn't wear a seatbelt. Everyone should wear their seatbelt, so that's on me. And I tried to brace myself, so hence I have some scratches from that. And I did hit my head a little.
That's an important reminder for all of us to always wear our seatbelts. No other injuries, thankfully, were reported. President Trump announcing tariffs on imports from Mexico and the European Union. The 30% tariffs will begin on August 1st. The president posting to social media that Mexico has to do a better job of stopping cartels, which he says continues to send fentanyl into the U.S. Mexican officials have called this unfair. Trump cited what he called a trade deficit as a reason for the tariffs on Europe. The president of the European Commission says these tariffs will end up hurting Americans and warned of countermeasures, but also says that they are working towards reaching a trade agreement before the deadline. Disturbing new information about those devastating floods in Texas. Records are now showing federal regulators repeatedly removed dozens of Camp Mystic cabins from their 100-year flood map. In 2011, FEMA included the camp for girls in a special flood hazard area, which means the camp was required to have flood insurance and also face tighter regulations on any future construction there. But over the past 12 years, FEMA allowed 30 Camp Mystic structures to be removed from the map. President Trump and his wife met with families of those who died at Camp Mystic.
Take comfort in the knowledge that God has welcomed those little, beautiful girls into his comforting arms in heaven.
They gave me this special bracelet from the camp in honor of all of the little girls that they lost their lives.
Officials estimate floodwaters reached nearly 30 feet, killing more than 100 people. More than 170 others are still missing. As a reminder, you can join Fox in supporting recovery efforts in Texas. Just scan the QR code on your screen right now or visit go.fox/TX flood relief. Your support has already helped raise more than $5 million to aid Central Texas communities. Our thanks go out to all of those who have donated. Russia's foreign minister visited North Korea Saturday and met the country's leader, Kim Jong-un. The minister says Russian President Vladimir Putin is looking forward to continuing talks with Kim in the near future. He also met with his North Korean counterpart, saying the discussions were substantive and very useful. Russia and North Korea have worked together in recent years, with North Korea supplying troops and ammunition supporting Russia's war against Ukraine. Meanwhile, U.S. weapons shipments to Ukraine have resumed. This as Kyiv scrambles to arm up in the face of Russia's intensifying aerial and ground offensives across that region. Correspondent Stephanie Bennett has the latest from London.
Another night of relentless bombings across Ukraine. Russia pounding the region with hundreds of drones and missile strikes. The attacks wounding more than 24 people and forcing many in the capital to seek safety underground.
During the day, you walk around, drink coffee, smile, meet friends, talk, have hobbies, chill. But at night, you brace for death.
Russia's escalating attacks had Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky urging Western allies to quickly deliver on pledges made for more military aid. Many of those agreements were made during an international conference in Rome this week, which included talks for more funding for drone production and more Patriot air defense systems.
We expect strong steps soon, including on sanctions against Russia for this war. Pressure must take effect.
During a trip to Asia this week, Secretary of State Marco Rubio suggested some of those Patriot air defense systems will come from NATO allies.
They should provide those weapons to Ukraine since they have them in their stocks. And then we can enter into financial agreements with us where they can purchase the replacements.
President Trump also saying he plans to sell weapons to NATO allies so they can deliver them to Ukraine. Details on that plan are still in the works. But this comes just days after the U.S. resumed weapon transfers to Kyiv after an unexpected pause last week. With no progress on a ceasefire, President Donald Trump has teased he'll be making a major announcement on Russia early next week. In London, Stephanie Bennett, Fox News.
Ready for a soccer showdown? Well, it's happening at MetLife Stadium tomorrow. We've got what you need to know about Sunday's big Club World Cup final between powerhouses Chelsea and PSG. And the health of children in the U.S. has been deteriorating over the past 17 years. A recent study details the conditions more and more kids are developing.
The 10 o'clock news.
Things are heating up across the river in New Jersey, and not just the temps. The FIFA Club World Cup final is tomorrow, where Chelsea and Paris Saint-Germain will face off on a 3 o'clock kickoff. Many believe it is setting the stage for next year's big World Cup. PSG is the defending Euro champion and is favored to win on Sunday, but Chelsea is confident an upset is in the works. 32 teams entered with the dream, but only 2 teams remain standing for the FIFA Club World Cup to be played at MetLife Stadium Sunday. In a match of European heavyweights, Paris Saint-Germain goes up against Chelsea. Both teams come into the finals following shutout wins in the semifinals. FIFA's president hails the first Club World Cup tournament a resounding success.
We can say definitely that this FIFA Club World Cup has been a huge success.
What hasn't always been huge, however, is attendance, as rows and rows of seats have been empty at several matches, some comparing it to attendance at football games during COVID lockdowns. With the size of crowds fluctuating wildly, ticket prices were slashed to try to get fans into the stands. Some tickets were sold for as little as $13 for Chelsea's semi-final match in Rutherford on Tuesday. And even for the finals, ticket prices have been dropped twice in the past 2 days to generate crowds. FIFA's president put this spin on attendance.
We heard nobody will come to the games, and we had, with the final tomorrow, almost 2.5 million spectators in the stadiums. This is around 40,000 per match.
Well, let's make your life easy. If you're heading to the game tomorrow, get there early is the advice. New Jersey DOT is encouraging people to use mass transit, but if you do decide to drive, authorities say plan on arriving 3 hours early, like it's an international flight. Attendance not expected to be an issue, however, next year. As a reminder, Fox 5 is your home for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Look for updates and features leading up to that big event next summer. As for the game tomorrow, some are concerned about the heat, but today is okay. Hopefully it holds up for tomorrow. Liv Johnson with the answer to that. Hey, Liv.
Hey, Arthur. Yeah, tomorrow's not too bad. It'll be a bit more cloudy. Another day it's kind of hot and humid, but a little bit cooler than it's going to be in the days following our Sunday. So we have a comfortable evening ahead of us. Similar Sunday, like we were just talking about. It's pretty much right on par temperature-wise and really conditions-wise as well. Showers and thunderstorms Monday evening. I think we'll get through tomorrow dry, the first half of Monday, and then we have those showers move in for the later half of our Monday. Hot next week, though. Starting about Tuesday, we'll get back up into the 90s. It'll feel really hot and humid around here. So we got up to 83 today in New York, 81 out on Long Island, 85 was the high for Hartford, 87 up in the Hudson Valley. Looks like the warmest was some areas in inland New Jersey, Newark 88 and Trenton 87 for their afternoon high. So we did sneak up into the 90s already for some places south of New York. You see Philadelphia got up to 91. We see that Washington, D.C. also got up to 91, and even look at Buffalo, 92. Plenty of 90s when we push a little bit further west. Pittsburgh 90, Columbus 91, Cleveland 93. We will get a taste of that in just a few days. Right now, it's pretty much the perfect temp. 74 degrees for New York, LaGuardia, and Atlantic City. Most of the tri-state sitting in the low to mid 70s, so very comfortable out there. Although we are already seeing some more cloud cover roll in, and that's going to stick around for the overnight hours and most of your day tomorrow, especially the first half and those late morning hours. Winds right now not too crazy, 5 to 15 miles per hour. We saw some wind gusts here and there this afternoon, but we really haven't had windy conditions in quite a while. We had a lot of unstable conditions for the past few days. That's why we keep having these on and off showers. But right now we're kind of in limbo. So for today and tomorrow, that's why I think we'll be able to remain quite dry. Although we do see that there have been some showers around us. It just didn't really cross into the tri-state area much. It kind of stayed a little bit further up into New York State, parts of Pennsylvania as well. So the rest of your evening, like I said, it'll be a little bit cloudy, but it looks to be dry. For our Sunday, we do see showers to the west of us, but I don't think we'll really get hit. Maybe a spot shower for the lower Hudson Valley, maybe one in inland New Jersey, but for the most part, I think we'll be dry. And then first half of Monday is just cloudy. Second half, we get some showers and thunderstorms. Right now, it looks like we could see some pretty strong storms that evening as well. Lows tonight, 70s for the most part. Highs tomorrow, back up into the 80s, very similar temperature-wise. Then that heat really kicks in Tuesday, about 90 that day, and Wednesday, and just more of this pattern of seeing some afternoon and evening storms. Arthur?
How much, Liv? Well, if you think children today aren't as healthy as they were, say, 15 to 20 years ago, apparently you are right. New research reveals despite all the education out there about healthy foods, kids today are more likely to have chronic conditions that include obesity. Fox 5's Jessica Formoso has a story.
When I was a pediatric resident about 20 years ago, it was really rare to see a kid with a chronic condition.
But that has all changed. Dr. Christopher Forrest, professor of pediatrics at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, is one of the authors of the new study published in JAMA that found the health of U.S. children has deteriorated over the past 17 years.
And now almost 1 in 2 kids have a chronic condition. If you were born in this country as a child, you're 80% more likely to die than if you're born in 18 other high-income nations in Europe.
It is concerning to me, yes. I do think there are a lot of environmental, external influences as well as home.
The study found a child in the U.S. was 15 to 20% more likely to have a chronic condition in 2023 than back in 2007. In particular, depression, anxiety, obesity, and even sleep apnea.
We saw that girls were going through puberty earlier. Girls and boys were experiencing more emotional distress, more loneliness, more anxiety, more depression.
Aside from all that, Dr. Forrest says kids are also experiencing more physical symptoms like pain, coughing, vomiting, and respiratory symptoms. He says this health decline highlights the need to identify and address the root causes.
There is no single cause. So yes, there's probably a contribution of poorer diet. Yes, there's probably a contribution of less activity. What is required is that communities take stock how they can improve their neighborhoods, the cities where kids live, and ultimately our nation.
It's like a snowball effect, and kids are being harmed.
The parents don't spend enough time with their kids. They work too much, so the kids are by themselves, and they go through all this by themselves instead of having their parents there.
Dr. Forrest says this is a wake-up call and there needs to be a transformation to the entire ecosystem. In Forest Hills, I'm Jessica Formoso, Fox 5 News.
Driving towards success on and off the court. How New York Liberty guard Jalen Sherrod pursued her WNBA dreams while also completing 3 degrees in college. A hole-in-one in Times Square today. The famous New Year's Eve ball transformed. It is now the Happy Gilmore 2 golf ball. The 12-foot sphere will sit high above Times Square from now until July 22nd. As you can see here, billboards in Times Square were flooded with all sorts of ads and images for the upcoming movie. Happy Gilmore 2 drops on Netflix on Friday, July 25th. And instead of hitting the skies, they are hitting the books. That's our theme. We're taking a look at how some adults are spending their summer learning to work air traffic control. As the summer travel season heats up, some Americans are heading to the classroom to learn about how to keep the skies safe for us. Correspondent Ted Linder gives us a closer look at the air traffic controller training program.
The busy summer air travel season is surging to new highs. But there have been some bumps along the way. The Federal Aviation Administration says it's in need of more air traffic controllers, down about 3,000 across the country.
We have taken a reduction in force. We absolutely have. I don't think we are doing a reduction in work.
To help address the crisis, the FAA is kicking its technical training program into high gear by preparing students for the real-world demands and responsibilities of the job. First, trainees go through a basics course.
They'll spend 30 days in that, and then they'll move on to their option, whether it's the tower or they'll go to the en route option, which is the radar room.
Depending on which option they choose, students will then go through 40 to 59 days of specialized classroom and simulation training, learning about the map, airspace, and how to communicate with pilots effectively.
Phraseology is one of the most important pieces for safety that we do. It's making sure that the pilot completely understands the instruction that you just gave him.
Students who make it through multiple testing phases successfully will graduate and find a home facility.
One of the 313 facilities that we have around the country.
This as the FAA implements a supercharged hiring initiative.
We'll hit our goal of over 2,000 by mid-September this year.
The nation's air traffic control system is also in need of an update. Congress recently passed a bill that includes $12.5 billion in funding to modernize it.
So the majority of the 12.5 is for the infrastructure, but 100 million of that was slated for training and the technology.
While the job is complex, officials say its challenges are what make it rewarding.
They get on an airplane, they make it to their destination safely. They don't know who got them there, but it's you.
Ted Lindner, Fox News.
In many ways, Asian films are leading global trends, and New York is getting a sneak peek into the future of storytelling. We're going to be taking you inside the New York Asian Film Festival as new movies debut with some familiar faces. Let's talk weather now. This weekend seems to be fine, but the week ahead kind of gets interesting. Liv Johnson joins us now with exactly how interesting it might get. Hi, Liv.
Hi, Arthur. Yeah, it definitely does get interesting. It's going to bring some major heat and then also some storms mixed in there. But today, we were just about average. Usually we're in the low to mid 80s this time of year. The record was 99 degrees set back in 1966, so we were pretty far off from that. But we did have a lot of 90s around the country. 93 for Atlanta, 91 for DC. You see 90s Memphis, New Orleans, most of Texas. Still pretty nice in Chicago, 84. Phoenix, 108 today for their high. So we're going to get a little bit of a taste of that over the next couple of days. We have a bit of a warm-up tomorrow, still comfortable. Monday, temperature-wise, pretty consistent with what we've had today and what we'll have tomorrow. And then Tuesday is when we get to about 89, 90, and then we kind of stay around 90 for the next few days after that. And remember, we also have to factor in that humidity. Currently, though, really comfortable outside. 72 if you're out on Long Island, 68 if you're all the way out for East Hampton, 70 for Hartford, 75 for Poughkeepsie, 76 for Newark, 75 down the shore in New Jersey. Those dew point temperatures, they're not too brutal, mid to upper 60s for the most part. We have 72 down the shore in New Jersey, but next couple of days, we will see those dew point temperatures kind of stay around this area, get even a little bit more humid. About Monday or Tuesday, we'll have those dew point temperatures in the low 70s. So we had a lot of things going on recently. We had a few fronts move through, we had some low pressure move through, but now we're just kind of in limbo while we do have a cold front that's approaching. So I think we're dry for the rest of today. I think for the most part we'll be dry tomorrow. There are some showers a little bit further west, and I think we'll be able to stay in the clear, but here's the cold front that's moving through, and there will be some showers that brings with it for our Monday evening, followed by some high pressure that keeps us dry for at least a day or two. So for the rest of your night, just expect mostly cloudy conditions. You'll wake up quite mild if you're up at 8 a.m. on Sunday, mid-70s, but mostly cloudy. Then those clouds will break up a little bit. We'll see more afternoon sunshine. Temperatures are very similar to what they were today, so they'll top out in about the low to mid-80s, maybe mid-70s if you're in those coastal areas. Those are those showers that I said I think are just going to stay a little bit further west. There's a slight chance we could see a pop-up shower in the New Jersey, maybe lower Hudson Valley. Same thing for the overnight hours on Monday, but really we're looking the second half of Monday is when we see some showers and thunderstorms starting late afternoon. Then rain chances go away Tuesday. That's when high pressure helps us out. And then they increase again by the end of the week. Low tonight, 71 degrees in New York. Most of us in the 60s or 70s. Tomorrow, very similar in the low to mid 80s. And then that heat comes Tuesday and Wednesday, both hot and humid. Thursday, Friday, we have some evening storms. Still staying hot and humid, though, with temperatures in the 90s and upper 80s. So a true summer forecast. Arthur?
It is. All right, thank you so much, Liv. Well, Easy Pass, not giving off that easy vibe. Some drivers on toll roads could be hit with an unexpected charge. Coming back, we're going to tell you what you need to know about the new Easy Pass rule to avoid having to fork over more money. Thank you so much, Jennifer. Let's get a final check of the weather with Liv. Hi, Liv.
Hi, Arthur. So it's going to be dry for the rest of your night, dry for tomorrow as well. Pretty similar, 83 degrees, humid. And then Monday, first half of the day is dry. We expect some evening storms before it really warms up Tuesday, Wednesday, hot and humid back into the 90s. And then we have some more evening storms next Thursday and Friday. Arthur?
All right, thanks, Liv. Let's end with this. Latin superstar Bad Bunny kicking off his historic I Don't Want to Leave From Here residency at the Coliseo de Puerto Rico in San Juan yesterday. He doesn't have to go anywhere. According to local media, the 30-show series marks the first time the artist has ever headlined a residency of this scale at that venue. Tickets for the first 3 weeks are reserved for residents of the island before opening up to fans from around the world, and there will be some. That does it for the news this Saturday night. Thanks so much for being with us. If you missed any part of the 10 o'clock news, you can always catch an encore on our free streaming app, Fox Local. Just scan this QR code that's on your screen right now to download the free Fox Local app onto your phone, or you can then stream our newscast anytime from anywhere. We're back here tomorrow. Hope you join us then. In the meantime, have a great weekend.